3, 6.
All right, we're recording.
Okay, I'll join in a minute. I'm just gonna restart my computer. In a form. People online too now, so yeah, it's me along. So we have enough for that, and then plus 1, 2, 3, that's 8, and Angel 9, so that's enough.
Yeah.
So I sent the thing to Declan. I did. Declan, I thought was here. He here? Not yet.
No, not
That's
yet.
fine. Let me get my Teams on my phone. My computer's restarting. So.
I have things open here.
Well, and he also has the gavel, so that's all.
What's up, Sylvia?
Okay, there he is.
I'm
Ben.
tabling
Wow.
at good.
Oh,
Welcome back.
I've been here for like a half hour. I just pack up.
All right. Hey, put me in there.
but
I have to go back and get the base for the flag.
that's fine.
You're here.
Let's start now. You have the gavel.
It hurts.
Right. Just next time, bring the gavel.
You feeling better?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Every day is better,
Good to see you.
unless I bump it, then it's not.
Well, that's good, Annette. I've been seeing your posts online, so I know it's not the greatest experience.
Appreciate you. Recovery is always the hardest part, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone ready?
You have an extra agenda?
Do we have an extra agenda?
It's on the top of the box.
Okay, we do. This is for you. I did send it to you online too, just so you know. So you can check it on there.
Oh, you don't take that from the table.
Oh, I didn't. I got a new thing.
What, the hat?
Yeah.
Does it look familiar?
I can check the.
Okay, welcome everyone to today's Madison College Student Senate meeting on Thursday, March 6th, 2025. I now call this meeting to order at 4:34 p.m. With that, Vice President Elon Tao, could you please take roll call?
Roll call starts now. Executive Council President Brito,
Here I am.
PP Tao present. Vice President of Legislative Affairs Hashmi,
Present.
Vice President of Team Development Salifu,
Present.
Vice President of Public Relations Jackson Winters,
Here.
Advisor Cole,
Here.
Crux Campus Senators Senator Avila,
Present.
Senator Sarah Brunner,
Excused.
Senator Rafter,
He's down. I sent him on appointment to go downstairs. He's here, but he cannot answer because I sent him downstairs.
okay. Senator Valerio,
Senator Bill Rails present.
Senator Richgills,
Present.
Senator Matson,
Present.
Senator Botillo,
He's,
mark him as
Yeah.
late.
you said excuse, right? Or what, what'd you say?
He's excused.
Yep.
Yeah, the academic, sure.
Move to regional and metro campuses. Portage Senator Crowder,
Present.
Reedsburg Senator Stacy Bronner,
Excused, right? Yeah, excused.
No worries.
Senator Reagan, Fort Atkinson Senator Dirks,
Present.
Goodman South Senator Bissonnette,
Present.
quorum met.
Thank you very much. Welcome to our General Assembly meeting of the Madison College Student Senate. This is a public meeting and will be recorded for transparency and record-keeping purposes in accordance with open meetings law. We are going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. The senators and other members online, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of the meeting when it's possible. Use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak. Ask questions or request a roll call vote. As chair, I'll do my best to call on committee members in the order in which hands are raised. Lowering your hand will take you out of the queue. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, well, we got it figured out. At this point, can we pull up the minutes? Someone have a. So you'll see here in the minutes, we had a visit from public comment, Dr. Sylvia Ramirez, talking about a lot of different topics, Anderson Street and Wright Street, sustainability, finance and admin internship. We talked about contracts, for online payment. We talked about the new remodeling updates that are happening in our building. We talked about technology and web accessibility. And then the final topic was collections. We did a team building activity that we, punted off to this week, and here we are now. Hopefully people have their stuff ready. And we did standard reports. The other thing for unfinished business is that we pushed off inclusion and belonging coordinator because Andy's not here, or he said he wanted to push it, and then Andy's not here this week, so that'll come up. Elections marketing strategy, 3-year plan. We were finalizing some stuff, and we have a presentation ready today for review. We passed resolution 11 for implementing halal food dining options. So thank you to VP Hashmi. Sent that off to all the relevant people, I'm pretty sure. So they all know. And that's it. With that, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second by Senator Villarreal. Okay, is there any discussion? Voted yes.
Just to clarify, we're approving the minutes.
Yes. So, was there something you wanted to say about it?
No.
The one that's here? Okay. I thought it was fine. I know it's not, I know what you might say. Are you okay with this minutes?
Yeah, I just want to make a note that I did, try out ChatGPT to take some of the notes
Mm,
because I had limited time to get it done,
Yeah.
but I think everything, I've checked
Yeah.
pretty much everything and it all looked.
is this the minutes you wanted to submit? Cause there's
Yeah.
like one area that I could offer for suggestion. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
to point that out.
Yeah, if
It
you'd
was
like
just
to.
it was just the resolution, like listing who voted for
Yeah,
it and like that.
well, I could just add a note saying like, please view the voting record.
Yeah, that's the only thing about that. Otherwise, everything was fine. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think
Yeah, I
this
can
was
make that adjustment.
very condensed in a good way. So,
Mhm.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I put it
Yep.
on 4 pages.
No, I wouldn't have said this to you unless you brought it up, which I don't know. I thought you were gonna say that. So, but it's good. I like the shorter notes and it saves you a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. Okay, with that, voted unanimous approval. If no other points of discussion, then this motion can pass in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion carries. We can move on to the agenda. Reading approval of meeting agenda, if you could pull that up.
This is supposed to be.
You'll see that there's a normal, everything else is standard. You'll see that Valentina Hato, the interim vice president of student affairs, is listed on there. She's gonna be a little late today. I haven't had the chance to reply to her email, but I think everyone knows, I think she knows that I know that she's gonna be late, so that's fine. So I think if we just like hold on that portion of it, I think it'll be okay. We have a team building activity, so I would suggest just going on the agenda as is, and whenever she comes on, then we'll be ready for her. You'll see that there's standard reports on there. We started giving some public safety advisory committee time to our Senator Raptors and chairing that committee. The basic stuff we're gonna talk about today, the big one is the 3-year plan presentation. And then, pull this here, and then talking about if there's time, contested elections. The big portion is gonna be spent on, town hall elections and especially 3-year plan. So with that, do we have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved by Senator Dirks, second by Senator Avila. Any discussion on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, then we can go forward with a vote of unanimous consent. If there's no opposition, this motion carries in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, agenda approved. Now, moving on, we have our public comment from Valentina Hato, interim vice president of student affairs. She's not there. Has anyone responded to her yet? I think Sylvia, I saw something from you, responding to her. Did anyone else reply to her?
I was just gonna say, yeah, I literally like saw her in person, and she let me
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, okay, so she knows that we know then. Perfect. So she'll come on whenever
Yeah.
she's ready. So I think what we can do is our little team building activity while we wait for her to come. So with that, we had a question and we sent it out. I sent it out not once, But what we talked about last week, I sent it out once on Wednesday and again today because I really wanted everyone to have a little fun with this one. But what quotation? And this is also Nohia's and Annette's question that they come up with. So just putting it out there. I just want to give credit where credit's due. What quotation describes your life right now? So if anyone has anything special to share, they can go first. Annette, you were so ready for that.
My one right now that describes my life is I have to keep saying, don't find fault, find a remedy. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Constantly.
That's a good one. Does that come from anywhere or?
It's something my mom said to me a long time ago. That's just kind of stuck with me, and I don't know if it comes from somewhere. I've never looked it up, but I will now. I never
Maybe,
thought
yeah,
about
maybe you
that.
can turn this down so I'm not blasting.
But my mom was military, so she had a lot of stuff like that.
Okay, who's next?
We go like this.
Oh, I guess we can go like this. Okay, it's now been established.
So, I am not lost, I am exploring. So, I was snowboarding Aspen, Colorado, one of the mountains, and when I was done, on the vehicle next to it, there was a bumper sticker saying that. So, I really like that. I really like that. I'm not lost, I'm exploring.
Like that.
That's a nice one.
We can come back.
No, I'm just trying to remember exactly how to get the word. Actually, I want to share two
Go for it.
quotes that I lived by for a long time. Try to keep in mind to answer my own question. That he could Representative Bush. First is every day is practice for tomorrow. And the other is every situation and person, whether you like them or not, can teach you something.
Coming from a teacher, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, thank you for sharing. Very thoughtful. Nohaya, you were the one that came up with this idea, so I imagine
No,
you're gonna.
that was Annette.
It was Annette. Oh, okay. I knew it came from.
But she was not here last week, so I
Okay.
just remind people
Gotcha.
it was Annette's idea.
Okay.
So I come up with two. I will also ask people to write that in the group chat. So we can have it
Oh.
like, yes. So,
Yeah.
That's cute.
so the first one is from Nicki Minaj. It's like, I figure out, like, I want to find it. I'm not afraid to be the person I am. If I make a mistake, I learn from it. I'm not ashamed of my past, but I am not going to let my past define who I am. I think that was in my personal life because I know I am more extrovert right now and I was not like this probably 1 or 2 years ago. So I feel like that is really talking about my life right now. And the second one is like, I'm not going to lose because I am not the one who is going to be left behind. So I will always try my best to win. I mean, if you lose, that is fine. It's just like you learn from lesson. But even though you lost or win, they always have a lesson behind. So always think to the positive in these situations.
Mhm.
And that was from Kuroko Basket, so from an anime that I really love. So yeah. So that is all.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
You know, usually the person that sits right next to here is Yilong, so in his honor, he has to be home today for a very good reason, but he's still joining us online despite his personal issues. So you don't have to be here online today, Yilong, if you don't want to. I'm just offering that to you again, but he did right here, get busy living or get busy dying. Where does that come from? I know, is that directed at anyone? Me? No, I'm just kidding. Wait, Yilong, is there a story behind that or you just like it?
I think it's from the movie Shawshank's Redemption.
Whoa.
That's correct.
Okay, damn. Okay. Experienced. Well, thank you for sharing. That's maybe Long's one of his favorites. Who knows? Okay, I'm gonna share something. My screen. Let me see. Oh, this is our favorite uncle, Uncle Iroh from the Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for the dark, that is all we'll ever see. So it's really just about perspective. how are you choosing to view something? You can find the positive aspects in certain things because some things are outside of your control, but you can control the way you react to things. So I think that's a really important message. And one I like to live by, although I don't always practice it perfectly, do as best as you can. So that's fine. And I really love Avatar. I think that made like a big difference for me in my life. But that's what I got. Some online, do you want to go and then some online people or, okay.
Yeah, my quote is from Arabic show. It's a travel show, and they used to travel around the world. And one of the things that his name is Ahmed, the actor in the show, and he used to always say, "Haven't you thought?" And that word, when he used to travel to other country, he used to see like good stuff, and then haven't you thought about those kind of things that happening in other country and implement it in your other in your personal life. So that is my code.
Thank you very much. It was very thoughtful. Okay, we're gonna go to some people online. We'll come back to you. We'll go to, well, I'm letting you know now back there that we'll come back around at the end for people that are here visiting. So just everyone in the room. So if you haven't had time to think about it, Adrian, then think about like a quote that matters to your life. Just giving you some time to think about. I know Brent's already got one, but we'll wait till the end. Okay, so some people online. So Sylvia is the first one that comes, I can see, because you longer anyway. Are you ready? Or should I? You got a quote?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I said don't take life too seriously because we're not making it out alive.
Nice.
Oh, maybe I need to work on that one. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. That's funny. Okay, thank you for sharing. And if you want to write that in the chat, I think it'd be cool.
Sure, you did.
Okay, next, oh, perfect. I think the only other person I see online is Evan.
Yes, that's
Are you
correct.
ready?
Would you like me to go? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I actually have a couple if that's okay.
Sure.
So my first one is, this one kind of relates to me. If you scratch a cynic, you'll find a disappointed idealist. And the second one, this doesn't relate to me as much, but I just kind of like this quote. It's if the words life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness don't include experimenting with your own consciousness, then the Declaration of Independence wasn't worth the hemp it was written on.
Wow, what does that mean? I'm sorry. I think I got lost in the rhyming of it.
No, you're fine. So I guess to provide a little bit of context, the first two drafts of the Declaration of Independence before it was finalized was written on Dutch hemp. Hemp, as everybody probably knows in this room, comes from marijuana. So the quote is by Terence McKenna, who was he was a drug enthusiast or a psychedelic enthusiast in particular, and psychedelics tend to change your consciousness. So he was kind of poking fun at the fact that we tend to criminalize some of these drugs that change consciousness, yet the Declaration of Independence says that, you should be granted life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And he kind of points out the irony of that statement by saying that, the first two drafts of the Declaration of Independence were written on Dutch hemp, which is made from a plant that changes your consciousness, yet we criminalize some of these plants that do change your consciousness. So
That's big. Wow, I wish there was a Senate historian position. That's funny. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. It was very educational. I didn't realize. Well,
yeah, no problem.
Without further ado, we'll go back to our normal lineup. VP Jackson Richards.
I don't know, but my favorite quote or like something that resonates with me is we accept the love we think we deserve, and it's like from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I think this resonates with me right now because I think I'm accepting less than I deserve. And I feel like I deserve that, but also I know it's not true.
That could be a mind shift. What's it called? A perspective shift? Mind
Paradigm?
Yeah, something like that.
Paradigm shift.
There we go. I'm glad you filled in for me. Think about that. Moving on. Bill.
So I got two. First one is no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. And And the second one is from Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly and carry a big stick.
That's a classic.
Popular quote, yeah. Okay, Senator Dirks.
All right, I have a bunch that I can share right now. If I had to pick what, just one, I recently watched Happy Death Day to You. And so that movie, it has a lot of like, messages about like loved ones and like being there for them and just, recognizing, sometimes, you have to let people go to really understand how important they are to you. And so this quote from the main characters, one I'll share now is, people say I love you all the time, but it isn't until you can't say it anymore to the person's face that you realize how much she meant it.
Wow.
And that also comes in light of one of my aunts on my mom's side isn't doing too well right now. She might be nearing the end. So,
Okay.
yeah, just thinking about that. It's been on my mind, but yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hope she's doing well or gets better. I don't know. We'll move on.
So my quote is from George Orwell's Animal Farm. And it's in light of a lot of feedback from constituents that I've gotten about the premium parking initiative, today renamed the efficiency parking initiative.
Okay.
The quote is this: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And it's a really poignant look at the politics of uplift and the dangers of benevolent authoritarianism. I have my own beliefs about the parking initiative. And when someone pushes back on these beliefs, my first instinct is to think that they're misconstruing it, they're misunderstanding it, and that I am right. And I struggle to set that aside, which is why it reflects where I'm feeling right now. It's also just a really fun piece of wordplay. It makes me really think about like how I view myself in relation to other people.
Okay. Ever the political theorist. Okay. Thank you. With that, we can move on to Cole.
The one that really does come to mind, I've heard it a few times, don't know really what it's about, but it says anything free is worth saving up for. So don't take anything for granted and continue to try to prosper what you're doing, because even when you get a break, not always given.
Gotta take it. I like that. Okay, thank you. To the people in the room here, Adrian, you want to go first, just like in order, or you ready? Or okay. This is Adrian Carter, by the way. Is that correct? Yep. Visiting first time student senate. Met with Lando at BPA, and yeah, he's come here.
Nice to meet you. My quote is: "The chains that we hold us back in life are nothing but rust that will break the moment you step."
Okay. What does that have a personal meaning to you, or?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my life has been me holding myself back because I say I can't do it or it's not worth it. But the moment you step forward, you realize that it's all rust. It's not real. It doesn't matter. You can do it.
Okay. We hope to see you do that with a Senate application. Okay, Mr. Brent West, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I have two quotes, one humorous and the other one inspirational.
Okay. Start with whichever one feels right to you.
Always do right. This will gratify some and astonish the rest. Mark Twain. The future depends on what you do today, Mahatma Gandhi. These quotes are part of my life. I feel like I try to do the right thing. It's important for me to do the right thing. But as humans, we sometimes come up short. So if we can laugh at ourselves when we come up short and try to do better the next time, that's what I try to do, and come to the Mahatma Gandhi quote, the future depends on what I do today. So take this moment seriously.
No, perfect. Yeah. It's funny. We have some people saying, take life seriously. Don't take life seriously. We gotta, look for tomorrow. Sometimes we gotta enjoy the moment. There's a lot of really, I don't know, interesting things. I guess it's whatever in the moment matters to you and what, I don't know, like what resonates in that moment. So, yeah, some advice can be used now and some advice can be used later. So thank you everyone for sharing. Hope we all feel good. Oh, Annette, some closing
I
remarks?
just wanted to remind everyone, I caught some people's, but if you could please put it in the chat. I think this would be interesting to have a separate document of to pass on to the next Senate, and hopefully they'll carry this tradition on.
Okay, thank you, Annette, for former team building, team development president, working together with Nelhaya, and maybe if you need a project, Nevaeh, you can turn this into a fun little quote book. Up to you if you have the time. No worries if you don't. Okay, well, with that, Tina is still not here, so I'm gonna propose that we just continue on with the agenda, and then we'll just hope that whenever she comes, we'll just let her do her thing. Okay, moving on. Reports from officers, advisors, and standing committees, executive council, and president report. So a few weeks back, we had WSG legislative seminar. We had people make suggestions about what we should raise our tuition limit to. We had the suggestion that the WTCS, the Wisconsin Technical College System, should not increase their tuition, or should increase their tuition by no more than 1.75% for both occupational and college transfer rates. I'm here to announce to you that they did listen to us and they increased their rate by only 1.75% for the college transfer. So that's good. They listened to us halfway. That's good. They did not listen to us in the other half, so that's fine. I take it as still a win. The fact they listened to us at all is that it should be they increased the occupational rate, which is technical degree programs like mine. Accounting is one of them. I think many people here are liberal arts. I'm assuming, right? You all want to transfer. Okay, I think I'm the odd man out here where I'm doing like an ending degree for. That's getting raised by 2.25%. They are paying less overall compared to everyone else. They're at around $150 per credit. You're all just barely above $190. So we are paying slightly less than you all for tuition because of the tuition freezes from Governor Scott Walker back in 2011. So we're still trying to catch back up from that. That's why the rates are like that. That's how it was explained to me. The other big update that we have this morning, you may have gotten an email from our executive. Well, no longer. He needs a new email shift. He's serving as the interim president of our college, Dr. Tim Casper. He came up to us and gave us updates on the Madison College presidential search. We now have finalists selected. There were overall 5 finalists selected. One person withdrew because they accepted a position elsewhere. So I'm glad we had 5. But here they are. There's 4 of them. This message came from Donald Dantzler Jr. last night. And here are 4 candidates: Dr. Jennifer Byrne, Dr. Tim Casper, Dr. Don Krim, Dr. Charles Lepper. We'll go ahead and just read out who they are. Dr. Jennifer Byrne is the provost of Oakland Community College. She holds a PhD from Michigan State University, an MA from Northeastern University, and a BA from University of Michigan. In April 25, she'll complete her MBA at University of Michigan's Ross School of Business. Dr. Ken Casper, who many of you know, he's come to our Senate before, who began service as the interim president of Madison College in January 25. He's been with Madison College in various roles since 2011. Casper has earned a bachelor's from the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, a master's in public affairs from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and a doctorate in educational leadership from Edgewood College. Dr. Dawn Krim, who serves at UW Green Bay as vice chancellor for advancement, community engagement, and inclusivity. She recently completed the American Governing Board Institute for Leadership and Governance and Higher Education program. She earned a PhD in educational leadership at UW-Madison and an MED in education counseling from Penn State University and a BA in rhetoric and communication studies from the University of Virginia. Dr. Charles Lepper, who is president of the Grand Rapids College Community. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Human Resources and Personnel Management from Ball State University, a Master's of Education in Secondary Adult and Higher Education from Grand Valley State University, and a Doctorate of Philosophy and Educational Leadership Foundations from Indiana State University. They'll be coming to campus in the coming weeks after spring break, and we'll be able to schedule like student forums. We'll actually have a chance to submit questions to them. So we'll be able to have input on who the next president of the college is going to be. Ultimately, that decision rests with the district board, but they do listen to input. Me and Annette served on the presidential search committee, and they have listened. I feel like they've been very responsive to our input on that. So yes, we do have a say in the next president of our college. So please, provide your inputs once we ask for them. And we might be asking next week for questions. Does that sound right, Cole? Or is that?
So if anything, I mean, they haven't released the timeline of when they're coming yet.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, so we might just postpone the question search for after spring break then, or we might hear from it next week. Not sure. I know that we're dealing with SAB budgets right now, so.
Just assume next week we may ask you if you have questions. Okay. Assume that that's gonna happen, and if we don't.
Yeah, it might
that'll be
happen.
that prepared.
Yep, and, yeah, so just keep that in mind. We'll be able to, make a selection sometime in April, and then we'll have our college president starting on the beginning of the fiscal year on July 1st. With that, that is the end of my report. Any questions quickly? Well, we talked about so many doctors, so obviously the next person is gonna be Tina Hato, future doctor, who's back here. Soon to be, soon to be. It's very close, so she'll let us know when her doctoral presentation is. If she wants to invite us, you do not have to, but I think we'd be more than willing to attend, so if you want us there. But yes, she is the interim vice president of student affairs, and yeah, she's here today to give us some updates.
Thank you. And first of all, I just want to apologize for being late. I should have just joined you virtually because I saw your other senator was not at Goodman South. I'm like, oh, but I really wanted to be in person. So, and can I just say too, that I just really appreciate seeing you there this week. I know you've been tabling and you've been getting lots of really great feedback on the board. I didn't take pictures of it, but I hear you guys are going to take pictures. So I just appreciate that feedback, and hopefully you'll also give that to our campus manager. Because they will, Freddie, he's phenomenal. We'll work really hard to make sure that we can work on the things that we can work on. I did see in there like a request for a gym fitness center. I want one too. That might take us a little bit longer. So just FYI, okay, when you guys think about that, that one just might take us a little bit longer. So, all right, well, thank you for having me here today. I just have a couple of updates, a couple things I want to share. One of them is going to be co-presenting with your colleague here, Annette. Should we start with that, with EPIC, and then we can move into a couple of questions, Kai, that you had for me specifically? So Annette is one of our members on our Facilities Planning and Investment Council. It's part of our shared governance structure. So the shared governance has college assembly. On college assembly, there are different people, including your own group, who has a seat on that group. And in addition to that, part of the members are the co-chairs of the different councils that report in. Either they bring issues up or they work in concert with college assembly to make sure the things that we want to work on are getting worked on. And so Facilities Planning and Investment Council, I think we've been to y'all here to present on various things before, but one of the interests of the group that has been longstanding, and this preceded even me in my role as co-chair, and that's been, at least 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, and it flies by, has been this interest in what's called a green team. And a green team are people who are interested in sustainability at the college, pursuing both grant opportunities, but other kinds of projects that would lead us down and enhance our ability to say that we are doing sustainable work in sustainability. And right now, you may be aware that we've won several awards. Sustain Dane, we've also won some awards from other state and national groups, especially around our solar array. I think we've got one, I don't want to say on every campus roof, but we do have them on several. South has one, we've got one. We've got one up in, I want to say Portage, but Reedsburg and out on the eastern region. And so, and I think ComAb is going to pick one up here shortly as well. So that puts us ahead. Up until very recently, we had the largest solar array in the state of Wisconsin. And then they built this East Clinic, the UW Health Clinic over here on the east side. I think they beat us out by, I don't know. Like
they copied us.
I know. They beat us out by like
they did it
maybe
on
one or
purpose.
two arrays. I don't know. But in any case, they now have that title and here we are. But we're doing a lot of really good work. And so trying to bring that work to the forefront in terms of having that group who can actually take that on, and we can then bring in student voice to it, faculty voice, other employees who may be interested in advancing this in this way. And I know that you all had an interest particularly around food waste and other related topics. And so I'm hoping that we can have that and that at the table, we can have that connection and have that work collaborative.
So we're we're looking for a student now to actually be on the green team, and they're about to write their, what do you call it?
Charter.
Their charter, thank you.
Mhm.
I was gonna say policy, but I knew that wasn't the right word. Is that you?
I would like him to
He's
be.
pointing.
I am pointing to Quinn.
If I can interject,
Sure.
I was talking with Sean Green about 45 minutes ago about starting a green club here with, I have two faculty advisors, here at Truax who are interested in being associated with that.
Perfect.
Who's the second one? Is it Armo?
Mhm.
Marmela, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She spoke to Green earlier in the day, asking if there were any students.
Who was
Perfect.
the other faculty member?
Noah Long.
Okay.
We'll see, new people, we were looking for people too,
Yeah.
for staff and stuff.
Is this be a student club or is this an organization of a?
You
different-
guys can have a student club so that you can utilize the student club funding aspects of it. But it would be, ideally a student senator sitting on the group itself, but we're also looking for other members to grow that particular group to do the type of work. And, at the last meeting, I know it wasn't there, but I'm trying to remember what I, read in the, thing in the video. What Sylvia's position that she is offering, that application is open right now to remind people about too. Did I forget
Internship.
something? Yes,
Yeah.
internship,
The
thank you.
internship that she went over the summer, and one of them was particularly around sustainability and food waste, right? I think that's what she was working on. And then she also had one on ecology, or am I conflating that with what David was saying?
Oh, somebody
David
else
LeClaire.
answered that one because the other one got stuck in me. I wasn't actually at the meeting. I was looking at the video from it.
Yeah. Another interest, so David LeClaire is really taken, if you're familiar with him, he is the manager for Career and Employment Services. Oh my gosh, Andrew, you know all of this. This is, okay, all right.
David's awesome.
Okay, well, he has a huge interest in this work, and one of his particular interests is ecological work. And so he's interested in, trying to do something with the forest across the
Yep.
road over by the Roberts baseball field, right? All that wooded area back there. We've invited the City of Madison arborist. They just hired him a few years back to come and do a walkthrough with Sylvia and David and himself. So there's just a lot of excitement that's bubbling up, and I feel badly. I'll just stay this out there because, like I told you, I've been with Epic for a while. We've been trying to stand this group up for quite some time, but I think the pandemic just really took us away from being able to be in person, to do this work, to be together. So I'm really excited about the possibility now because it's just been so long and the interest is so there. It's bubbling up everywhere, so that to have that opportunity now to be able to seize on that and actually deploy something is really exciting. It would make me, very happy.
I think
Just
it's
because we've
really
been working so
exciting
long.
too about the fact that the tree programs
Mhm.
that are here at Madison College that were kind of like leaning towards going away are they're like rising up. People are getting really interested, and it sounds like David had a lot to do with that
He
too.
sure does. David is amazing. If y'all don't know David LeClaire, get to know him. Because he is just pretty outstanding. He is, right? He's just, he's a champion for students, and he's so creative and he's so innovative that, and we're just really lucky to have him. So in any case, he'll be leading this group. There's a couple other people who are, interested. And so I just asked you to get in. I guess they can be in touch with you, right? Like they can funnel through you, and then we'll have that conversation. So, funnel your interest through Annette, and it could be more than one of you, bring your friends, because the more people, the better, especially for students. Okay.
I also wanted to mention that David is the person, when I mentioned at the last meeting, when I was talking about, you weren't at that meeting. When I was talking about the student housing, he really stepped up and was supporting me during that conversation. So just want to make sure you know who our big supporters are.
Yeah, David's amazing. I don't know. Yeah, he's a good person, good people. All right. So then with that, I also wanted to respond to a couple of questions directly that you had. Is that all right?
Yes, thank you, which is
Okay.
housing, perfect segue.
Yeah. So I'm interim, as you all know, in this role, and Kai has indicated to you. So one of the things that you get to do as interim is you get to go talk to a lot of people. As Vice President for Student Affairs, you get to go talk to a lot of people. You get to go meet with a lot of groups. And so I was invited to come and talk with PTK, who they select a project every year to undertake. And lots of different things that have been done in the past. The group this year is really interested in housing. And so we had a conversation, they brainstormed on the different topics that they would want to pursue. And what they decided is, you might know that the college has a rental listing. What's it called? It's called Rent College Pads.
Yeah.
I don't know how useful you all have found it. If you've used it, it's going away.
Yeah.
How useful it's been. Okay, so we're going to be transitioning to a new program, and so and Ellie Rome is going to be working through that. But PTK will partner with them to raise student awareness about the tool, because I do think that that sometimes is part of the issues. Like, people just aren't aware that we have those resources. Honestly, I don't know how much of a resource it was, but in any case, that we have that available for people. And so PTK, that's one of the things that they're going to do, is they're going to work with Student Life to make sure that whichever vendor we end up going with, that they do their best to promote student awareness of the service. And then the other thing that they want to do, again, related to student housing, is they are planning on delivering some services themselves. So one is they want to do a rental education program, for most people who are of younger college age, they've never rented an apartment. So understanding the laws and the commitments that you're making to be able to take on that kind of commitment is really important. So providing that renter education to students, making that available, is one of the key things. Right now, Tenant Resource Services, if you're familiar with them, they help renters with questions on evictions and tenant actions, or landlord actions or inactions, whatever that might be. They currently, they're located not too far from here, on the other side.
On Willie Street.
On Willie Street, right?
Yeah.
So on the other side of us, of East Wash. But they also have office hours over at Goodman South on Saturdays from 10 to 2. They're open walk-in hours, so you can just walk in and see them. First come, first serve, as they're available. So we've talked about contacting them and exploring an opportunity for them to come and have office hours here. They're, like I told you, right across the street over, a couple blocks. And so there might be, something around that, but hopefully they've been really awesome partners so far. So hopefully we can work with that. So they'll be exploring that. We also have a legal clinic. I think you all are familiar with that, right? And they have office hours over at Goodman South, and they also have them here. They've been moved to, I call it the fishbowl room, maybe 132. It's right on the corner by the cafeteria, Diane's Delicious Diner, demo kitchen. It's right there by HR. It has a film around it, so I guess it's not a fishbowl anymore. You can't see in anymore. But in any case, in that room, that's where they're holding services, and they offer. Also, they work in hand in hand with Tenant Resource Services, so they also provide some of these services. So just know that that's available to students currently, and they can access that over the website. And then they're also planning on some workshops, potential blog or newsletter events, activities, things that, again, to raise that student awareness and participation in those offerings that they do have available. And lastly, talking about housing, advocacy for college-owned or managed housing. And this has been a topic on the table for a really, really long time. I think it even predates me. And for whatever reason, we just haven't been able to bring all the pieces together to be able to enter into this space. There are, I think, one, Cole, I don't know, maybe you know better, but I know there's at least one technical college, and I think
Northeastern Wisconsin Technical College, Green Bay.
that has dorms. And we don't, and I don't, again, a lot of it has to do with where we're located, because the airport has height standards on how far enough we can build. And so those are some limitations. There's other things that are involved, of course, that's just one layer of it, but it is something that they have an interest in. So maybe, maybe they can make some headway there. So they do want you to know, however, that they would love to partner with Student Senate on the work that they're doing, and that they would want to come and present to you directly. So to invite them to come in at some point, they would like that. Okay. All right. So that's on PTK, which you asked for. Any questions on that, or is that out of norm right now? You want to wait?
No, the only thing I'd mention is that anyone can join the college project. It's Thursdays from 10:30 to 11:30. I'm on that college project, so you'll see me there if you want.
Yes. I did ask them about changing their name a little bit. You've heard of Project 25.
Yeah, we've said the joke so many times. So we've said College Project 2025. The college has to be the qualifier.
And you know what's so funny, Kai? When I saw the CP25, I'm like, what does CP stand for? Oh, like, oh yeah,
Like a
okay,
new
got
one.
it, got it.
That's why we had to
Yeah.
change that acronym.
Yeah. So no, that was a good move on your part. All right. So then, I received an email from your president regarding our hiring practices, human resources. And in particular, a question around what counts as experience when you're applying for a job with us. And we recognize, I think I had shared this with you in the email, that it is, we are working on this because it is a perceived and real barrier when you're coming in and you have the associate's degree. And so then sometimes your work experience isn't, what people would want in that position, but it's work experience. So how does that count? How do you get that to count? And so we've recognized it as a barrier, and we are in the midst right now, y'all, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't, of redeveloping our compensation plan for staff and for managers. And this is one of those issues that we are tackling in this new process. And Dr. Ramirez, myself, and a couple other people are on a liaison group. So we provide that in feedback directly to our HR counterparts who are working on this project. So we will bring this forward. So just so you're aware to them. And then I would just say to you, so we know it is a perceived and a real barrier to people. But I want to remind you, Sean Green graduated right from here, and he's now permanent employee. So he was able to make that move. I have several people on my staff at Goodman South that also came out of our associate degree programs. Nancy Yang is one of them. Luisa Rios is another. And so it does happen. It seems like it's just frustrating because it's part of a job search, right? Mm-hmm. And so you always have to deal with the rejection. But what I want to share with you is apply anyway, right? Don't ever count yourself out of an opportunity because you think you won't qualify or because you think you don't have, the 10 things that they've listed as the skill set. Apply anyway. Let them say no. Don't preclude yourself prematurely because then it always is a no, right? And exactly, right? And sometimes what happens is you put in your application, okay, well, maybe, for this job, maybe it's not a fit, but now I know you're interested and now I can look at you for another pool perhaps and let you know that this is open. Okay, would you want to apply for this one? So just don't shortchange yourself because I think I read that in the email too.
There were some students that, so it's specifically the position was the transportation coordinator where people were told like, oh, this position's for people who, what was it? Like, well, we don't count experience. Like they learned that beforehand that they don't count experience leading up to it. So like, oh, so I'm going to apply like having zero knowledge. So I don't know if the individuals in question like actually ended up applying after hearing that or not, but after hearing that definitely discouraged them.
Yeah.
After hearing that. So I don't know that's why I'm trying to find out like, well, what is this process? Like, because in my view, like, I think that we're giving a very valuable technical college education. I have a job at like a, top 100 tax firm. And for me, that's like really big. I think for other people, the education they're getting, like we have to accept, like if we don't accept our own graduates as having like valuable education, then how can we expect people in the workforce to? I think it doesn't send a good message to like our employee partners or business partners in the community that if we can't accept our own graduates. So that's just basically, I want to ensure that, if I wanted to graduate or anyone really wanted to graduate and then work here, that they would be able to.
Right.
And yes, you did say Sean Green is a perfect example of someone most of us know here.
Yeah,
That
right.
now works here, so.
Yeah, so
props to him.
it does happen.
It does happen.
It does
but-
happen, but you're absolutely right. You have to be strategic and you have to, I think that's so much about, this growth process when you're in college is really learning to advocate for yourself and going after those resources, because people in human resources, they'll sit with you, they'll practice interviewing with you, they'll help you with your resume. David's area is
David the planner.
awesome with resume. If you guys have not leveraged or used or tapped into those resources, because they do phenomenal work. I mean, they can make your resume tap dance, I swear. They're just so good.
Lando has good experiences with David specifically.
Yeah, right? I mean, David's just good people. Well, you guys we're so lucky. We have really good people at the college. So I would just again, reach out. HR is willing, and invite HR in for a conversation, right? The director is Rosemary Bushhouse, and she and her staff are, they carry a big role, right? They got to keep this place afloat and staffed and, advancing. So their jobs are, they're big jobs, but they're also really interested in getting the best possible people for our jobs. And when you have students who come in, I mean, you have firsthand experience, right? Like the kind of work that we want, that we say is important, that understanding what the student need is.
Yeah.
It's firsthand. You bring that knowledge to the table, and that in itself is extremely valuable. So I would encourage whoever it was to keep applying, reach out to them, find out, get some assistance from them on how they can improve, their resume if it was that, interviewing skills, whatever they think that they might need some assistance with, but just keep going. Because again, if you don't put it out there, the answer is always no. So don't exclude yourself prematurely.
That's great advice.
Okay. So that was that. Now, was I going to give you any other updates?
I don't know. Well, maybe we have 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Mention that we're really close. We got
Student parent policy.
the student parent policy. We got the feedback from the 2 people we were waiting on, which was the provost and Dr. Grady.
Nice.
Their expertise. So we started working on that yesterday, incorporating and deciding what we're gonna put in and what maybe
Wordsmithing.
wordsmithing.
We're
I like that.
wordsmithing. That's what we're doing right now. But they give great feedback. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's okay, because we've been knee deep in it for way too long. We are working on a children on campus policy. We had brought to you, I think, the results of the survey that we had done. Gosh, like I told you, we've been in this knee deep for a while. It might have been a year ago. It might have been last spring that we did the survey. And so that informed our work around developing a policy for having children on campus. What does that mean? Under what conditions? And not just for student parents, of course, but then also for employees, and what that might look like with their managers. And so we're very close, like Annette said.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's
I'm
like
really hoping by
ambitious.
the end of this academic year, we're going to have this policy ready to go. So we are looking forward to bringing that work to closure and being able to advance it to the next stage, which would be for cabinet and college assembly to pass. So once we do that, we'll bring it back to y'all.
Thank you.
And then FTech is going to be, we're gonna be going to Fort Atkinson to have a meeting and review the site. That'll be in
When is-
April.
Okay.
April 4th. Does that sound right?
Second,
It's a Wednesday.
it's a
I
Wednesday.
can get you that date.
Okay.
So, I thought that was really wonderful because we were having a conversation between Goodman and one of the regional campuses, and we were leaning one way, and then we ended up leaning the other way. And I feel like Tina was very supportive. Of course, I was trying to get one of the outer campuses because I know we've been talking a lot about being more supportive of our regional campuses. So we really appreciate your
Yeah.
support.
Thank you. No, it's important. You know what it is? So today I had to do it. The reason I'm late
No worries.
So the reason I'm late, let me justify myself, Ty. Is because I was filming a video today for College Connections.
Oh, what?
College Connections is the program that we have for new employees. It used to be called First Fridays, now it's called College Connections. So you gotta film this video, and they wanted to film it of me over at South instead of here at Truex. Okay, fine, because the topic was our regional campuses.
Yeah.
And ComAb and Goodman South. So as part of that conversation, they had some questions for me that I, had to give answers to, but part of it was, what would you want people to know about your, this unit, these campuses that isn't so evident? And what I shared with them was that these campuses are communities unto themselves because they're removed right from what Madison College is here in Madison, which is Truex. Everybody thinks, okay, it's Truex. In those communities, in Portage and Reedsburg and Fort Atkinson, in Watertown, and even especially at South and in ComAb, you become your own world. So you turn in toward each other to really be resources and for each other because, you don't have all the central offices, on those campuses. And so then what that often means is that your people, your staff, your employees are trained. They're in more areas, they're cross-trained in areas to be able to serve at a higher level for your students. And so you get greeted when you come in, you know your name when you come in, you've had a relationship that you've been able to build with the frontline staff because they see you, every day. And so it's just a different experience at those campuses. And so I just really appreciate your all effort to get your senators, representatives into this space because they also need to be recognized. So just thank you for that work.
Yeah, I want to thank you for, you drove all the way out here, literally drove the extra mile to come here.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that. So that's the kind of effort that we want to make sure that people go, I don't know, I felt like you went above and beyond. You didn't need to come here. You could have been online, but we appreciate the fact that, I don't know, you wanted to be a student affairs president and came here in person. With that, we do have one more question from Hassan, and then we got
Can it be two questions?
Uh,
I
do you-
think Angel's
Oh, you had
question from about the refrigerator, I brought it up, but I didn't have all the details. I think that should be.
Sure, we'll
brought up.
use Lando's report time and you don't get a report. Is that okay?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Related to it.
All
So
right.
sure, you two ask questions.
I would like to make a motion to extend the meeting.
I'll second
by
that.
5 minutes.
We're already, it's just doing
Okay.
it. We're already over it.
Hi, Valentina. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I passed a resolution last week about law food. I'm already working with Sylvia about it.
Mhm.
I was just wondering, me as a Muslim, when I go to the kitchen in the cafeteria,
Mhm.
I can't really pick anything. I have to be really specific,
Mhm.
especially like protein.
Mhm.
I was wondering if you could advocate in the cabinet for that.
Yes.
And then my second question was about, I'm not sure if this falls into your umbrella or if you could spread that message, syllabus. I was just talking with the professor, what are the things that they're required to include in the syllabus and not. One of the things that I wish every professor had, is their withdrawal date, like the W, the last day to withdraw from the class. I think, because if you withdraw after the W date, it hits on your transcript and it's gonna be there forever. If you drop before the W date, it's not gonna be on your transcript. I think it's like 2 weeks after the class starts. But every class is technically different by a day or two because of their meeting time. I was just wondering if you could forward this message to the Syllabi Center where they can include the W date on the transcript.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask Hassan. The syllabus is, drafted by the instructor. However, so that might not be the place where we could put it. However, I'm wondering, we're transitioning to a new learning management system. Blackboard's going away.
Mhm.
We're gonna go to Brightspace. I'm wondering if Brightspace has that. I
So-
know, me too,
Yeah.
Evan. I hear you. Blackboard has been, Blackboard has been, it's a process. But I'm wondering if Brightspace has that capacity. So, somehow program in
Yeah.
what that date might be, because you are correct. it's dependent on each class. It's
Right.
80%, it's like whatever percentage of each class has gone by, that's the policy. And you can find it in your student center,
Yeah.
but
it's-
you've got to dig
That's
for
the
it.
issue. It's like,
Yeah.
like I walked
Yeah.
through it with him, but I think the problem is that it's just hard to find.
Yes.
So we need a better way for students to look at it. Like, it's nice that people can look at it, but it's not easy to find if you don't know what you're looking for. That's the problem. Okay, so.
And
that
for
part, yeah.
sure, as we move to the new student information system, right now we have PeopleSoft. We're working on transitioning to Workday, student Workday. That is certainly something that we can bring forward for that, for sure. Because then it should be as easy as when, you click on your My Madison account. So,
Yes.
okay, very good.
Okay, moving on to Angel. Last question.
Hassan, please, can you forward that question to me as well? I think I can get an accurate answer. Sure. Just give me a little bit of time to forward. So thank you for being here today. We do appreciate your presence today here. So I talked to Chelsea. She is the campus operation manager on Watertown.
Mhm.
I had the pleasure to meet her today by great, the great architect.
Yeah.
And we spoke a little bit, and I'm having conversation through the Outlook, and we spoke today about the nursing program that they have on the campus in Watertown.
Mhm.
And they on the program, they have a capacity for students of 14 for a class that they are doing. And the students had to wait like a full cycle of a year to take that class, delaying the graduation for them. Something that we can dive in a little bit more, and I can have her as well dive in a little bit more. She's more knowledgeable on that. And also it was a coffee machine that they requested for the campus. They don't have one. It was submitted and it's waiting for approval just to see where we stand on that.
Yeah, that is part of the capital. I can tell you about the second thing, the coffee machine. That is part of the capital request process for the college. And those approvals have not yet been fully moved through. So it is still out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What about the refrigerator?
What's the refrigerator?
So, I recently had a discussion with a office person at the Fort Atkinson campus. And so they have a smaller welding program, 15, 20 students. And so they like to have, a place to keep their food overnight, if they're there late. So they don't need to go out and get food or go to the vending machine because they're busy. And so recently, from what I've heard, it sounds like their refrigerator is beginning to die out. So they were requesting a new one as soon as we could get it. And so I was gonna be there on Monday for a Rotary Club meeting, and I was gonna inquire more on exactly what they're looking
Okay.
for.
Mhm.
But then I would end up having to, probably, I'm not sure who I would contact about that. But just getting that new fridge for them so they
Okay.
can.
Yeah, I don't know how we, thank you. I don't know how we put refrigerators into other spaces for students. Like that
Mhm.
conversation came up, not sure.
Yeah.
But we will definitely bring it forward because, again, the regionals are just a little bit different,
Yeah.
than Truett's campus. And so I would see the need for that.
Mhm.
We have an HVAC program. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if they can't fix the refrigerator, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
I
project. I'm just kind of wondering, for
Could be good
people,
experience.
right?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Mhm.
I'm sure Jimmy probably thought of that. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll look into that. So who is the contact? Would it be Jimmy? Is that who I should reach out to?
Oh, Jimmy, and then it was Alex.
Okay.
I can't pronounce his last.
Oh, yeah. Alex is at the front desk.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Why I couldn't find a message. I crossed people.
Uh-huh.
Because I brought it up
Yeah,
at
thank
FTech,
you.
but I
Yeah.
said Angel. So,
Oh.
sorry, you guys.
No, that's fine.
So TSI is knowledge, skill, and experience. The thing by applying, that's like a metric that we have. We try to develop people.
Mhm.
So Skill USA can be a good way to start to enhance that skill experience for students.
Mm.
I'm just throwing it out.
I think anytime you can get some more hands-on experience, absolutely. You're talking about jobs, right? Like what would help you get a job, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, as a student, so definitely because that demonstrates, right? You're just going a little bit above and beyond. But any, like this experience, this leadership experience, being able to run a student club is student experience. Any of those places where it puts you into a situation where you're leading, right? Like you're taking responsibility for whatever it is, if it's programming, if it's, you got, kids that you're tutoring, whatever it is that you might be doing, leading a project. Those are all really good experiences to have. And so definitely, especially if you get paid for any of them, right? That's paid work. Need to be noting that. And then I think one of the most important things to remember, and I talk about this when we run Smart Starts over at South, is that, for example, when I was growing up, I did not dream of becoming an administrator at a community college. Okay, that was not in any of my wildest thoughts. All right. But what happened is I took on each subsequent job. There were things that I did that I was able to take those skills and transfer them into whatever other job I was doing, right? So for example, I think about you work at fast food. Okay, you've got to be able to work on a team. You've got to be able to have superb customer service, because otherwise you're going to have some really upset customers, right? You got to be able to count change. So you got to be accountable for money. You've got to be able to show up. You've got to know how to handle food, the safety that goes into handling food. You have to be able to work under stressful situations, right? So all those things are skill sets that you carry on then into your next job, and you keep building until at some point you find yourself in a job where you're using all these different types of skills that you have, different qualities that you've been able to hone. And then you hopefully find yourself in a place where you've got to be there 40 hours a week, and you don't mind showing up for those 40 hours a week because the work is engaging and it's meaningful to you and you're making a contribution, right? But it's a layer, it's a layer, it's a layer, it's a layer. So you've got to find a way, and this is what I'm talking about, getting people to help you, getting David's team to help you, teaming up with HR, that you find a way to create that story in your own application materials. You find a way to take those skills and you layer them up and tell that to, the person that's going to be screening for your job application. And so that's ongoing work. It's not ever done. It's not like you finally get it. But that's what you work through and through. Does that make sense?
Okay. Do you have a very quick question?
Yeah, I just want to share a rule for applying to jobs that I heard recently that I think is really good, which is if you could figure it out in 3 to 6 months, then you're qualified.
You're
That's
qualified.
perfect. Yes.
I like
It
that.
takes time to learn.
It does,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So-
And that's just such a great reminder. And that's why I say, and in fact, they have this research, y'all, that men will look at the
Yes.
the job requirements, and they're like, okay, yes, no, I'm applying. A woman will look at the job requirements, yes, no, not qualified, I'm not gonna apply. So women have to, right, step into that space and also advocate for themselves as well. But yeah, you're right. If you can do it, you've got the foundational skills. And I think that's where, right, telling that story, tailoring your materials, making that come through in your cover letter, you invite them, right, to ask more questions. They want to know more about you. And then how do you lay out your foundational skills that you can build on, those 3 to 6 months. So yeah, it's a process. It's a process. And you're putting yourself out there. Every time you apply, you're putting yourself out there, right? So there's the possibility of rejection, exactly like the student that you indicated, had come to you.
But don't reject yourself.
But don't reject yourself and apply anyway. Let them tell you no. Don't preempt your, that decision on your actions. So. I haven't answered.
Quote a day. You had a quote of the day.
Oh, that was a quote of the day.
We gotta clap for that. Okay. Well, thank you for coming. As always, very eloquent speaker, Tina Ahedo, who is soon to do. When is your dissertation delivery?
Like, when am I gonna be done?
Yes.
Kai, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, sorry, that's like the worst time to ask. Sorry, that's what I meant like,
You know, I was really hoping to be done by end of June, but I've been set back. There's this thing that you gotta go through called the Institution Review Board. And that's to get permission to work with people, right? Like, they want to make sure that the research you're going to be doing isn't going to be harming anybody. So you've got to go through this permission process. And my permission process has been delayed about 2
Sorry.
months. And so I am thinking that if I can graduate now.
by the end of the year.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
August.
I'm sorry, it sounds like you're delaying it so much. I'm sorry.
August, that's what I'm thinking. But I will be happy because I got other things I gotta do. So, you know, doing a doctorate is just, you know,
Okay.
one of those little things.
Well, Donald made it sound like it was happening like next month, but sorry. That's
Oh my
bad,
gosh,
yeah.
I know.
Everyone's hyped for you. That's what you need to take away from
That's-
this,
that's
not
what it
not the.
You're right. You're right. Thank you.
Everyone's
And I
hyped.
need that
We're
encouragement
excited.
too. So
Yes.
thank you. If you guys put that on the notes, we encourage.
Yeah, you know what? Write that down. Write that down. Okay.
That's fine. So in any case, so thank you. That's all I had for you
Yeah.
today. And I will definitely take your comments back to cabinet and the appropriate people and hope to be able to give you a response.
Okay.
All right. So can I go now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, those people online and whoever's still online. Yeah, I'm still there. All right. Well, sorry to keep you and thank you.
No, thank you for
All
coming
right.
here. We always appreciate it.
And show up for the presidential forum, Joel. They need
Oh,
to
we are
know.
so set for that. We are excited.
You need to be there. Yeah, it's important. It's important. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that was our public comment. We can resume the standard state of our agenda. So we are pushed back a little bit, so we'll try to catch up on some time. Administration Finance Committee, VP Tao, anything quicker? I know you have your report today, so.
Yes, so Monday, we were discussing a payment request from the event. It's, the total fee is around $1,837. And there are, in short, there are some errors in their payment report, and we approved like 630, which is correct, and then we asked them to check the rest of the payment to check their math and make sure they input the information correctly, because it seems like they spent 630, but they reported the double of that. Besides that, we also discussed a three-year plan and three-year plan presentation slides, WSG information, photos, and we review it. We made some additions, and then we made the slides for the SAB for tomorrow. That's the end of my report.
Okay, great. The questions will come during the presentation portion of it, so we can move on to legislative affairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Election updates, so far we have 33 applicants.
Higher.
40.
40 now?
Oh my gosh.
40 applicants, it's the highest since ever, 5 years.
I think, 5 years ago.
5 years, and then for the details, we have 3 president positions. We have 6 VPs, 2 VP of PR, and then 2 VP of LA, and then we have 22 general senators. Every regional is filled up. Reedsburg is 2, and then Goodman South is 3 senators. And then me and Cole were going on the applications yesterday, approving 90% of them. The 10% got rejected after consideration. Yeah. And then for committee meetings, we're talking about a potential bill what if there's a tie in the election results for any of the positions? How could that be what if there's a solution for that, a tie or something? So yeah, that's my quick report on.
Yes, and there's a section in the agenda for, there's a, what's it called, contested elections. There's portion of the bylaws which may be applicable to it. And, you know, we could choose to do it this year because we have some of the authority to do that, but it would be nice to have it specifically outlined in the bylaws, which obviously we're gonna focus on next week. It's a next week issue.
Yep.
This week's the budget. So he's just bringing it up to you because they did discuss it. Okay, any questions? Okay, moving on, we can go to Team Development Committee, VP Silly. What you got for us?
Nothing actually. I mean, thank you for you guys to going to the town hall event. Today was the last day. And thank you for doing that amazing job, sharing like anything about Senate with people and tonight. So that's all. And we're also talking about making the name tag before probably the end of the semester. We'll try as much as we can to make it happen. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Any questions about town hall or anything for VP Silly Fu? All good, okay. Thank you, everyone. Moving on, we can go to VP Public Relations. VP Jackson Winters for Public Relations, not Lyman, so.
Not really any update. We didn't have a meeting last week. Just want to say thank you to everyone who made election posters. I don't know, so we did pick Jose's poster and Ohio's poster. And others can be used for future postal events. I guess for future, we do want to do like some tabling just to loosen it, get the word out. I don't know if Cole has anything to add.
The big kicker was we're hopefully for Public Relations Committee, but to anybody during the week of election, so March 31st, April 4th, I'm just gonna reserve a table regardless to have out there. So if you can dedicate some time to being out there and encouraging people just to vote, that would be helpful. We'll get QR codes out there. They're gonna get at least 3 emails from us throughout that week encouraging them to vote, but we're hoping just to have that. We're not gonna be anything with it. We're nothing pizzazz by this. We're just gonna be out there, Senate table, asking people, hey, did you vote for student Senate election? No, come vote right now. Take all of a couple minutes. So that's what we're hoping to do, just to kind of get it out there. If we can get above 2% of the student body or the eligible voters to vote, that will be higher than the last couple of years of the count. They average about 1% right now. If we can get up to 2%, that would be.
Just a quick comment, I forgot to add, the applications are due on the 9th, on Sunday.
At 11:59.
11:59.
Central Time. Yes.
Can we possibly use the Senate tablet when we are out there tabling for it so that they can vote immediately? I did that, something like that with BSU, but not for the elections, for something else. I can't even remember. Oh, it was something related to Senate. Oh, it was for the when we were voting for the increase.
Referendum?
Yes, the referendum. Thank you. And that helped get more votes right there at our Black Student Union event. So maybe we should do that for when we're tabling that one.
Show me where the tablet is. I don't know where that is.
Okay.
Yeah, give it up.
Yeah, the other rule is that you can't tell people who to vote for while you're doing that. So like this is Senate time, so we can't advocate for specific candidates. So just reminder that this is nonpartisan, so just keep that out of there. For anyone running for Senate also, part of that you can't advocate for yourself. So we'll just leave that there. And then when you're doing something separate, like not official Senate time, then you can like go for it totally. But yeah, and then there's some rule where this is a legal rule which we're subject to because of what's it called, like the elections law, and because we're a public body, you have to be like a certain amount of feet away from the student life office. So I don't
think
remember.
it's 10 feet. I was reading, yeah.
I feel like that's too short.
100 from a pole.
100. That sounds
Yeah,
more
I think
possible. Yeah.
We'll look into it with you because they do, last year, the year prior, individuals who are allowed to work through the advisor who are running for Senate to reserve a table.
Yes.
To be able to speak, but I know that table has to be near Senate. It couldn't be at the other end of the building.
Yeah. I don't know the distance, so we'll have to look into that. But we'll have it ready because it's not campaign time. So
correct.
Just bring it up. Yes.
the distance from a polling location is categorized as 100 feet, but I don't know if it would be considered
Okay.
different under the Senate bylaw.
There is some rule somewhere that I will be reading, so we'll look it up and clarify. I'm just letting people know. So I know that it's a rule, I just don't know the specific rule. So, yes. Okay.
I also have another question for the posters for voting. How was that selection process determined? Can we see the ones that were selected maybe?
Because of time, we can share them with you later.
Okay.
No worries, no worries. Okay, any other questions or can we move on? Okay, moving on to advisory report.
Yeah, big things. One, we are not extending the deadline for application submissions.
Because we have.
It will be due at 11:59 Sunday. Anybody submits after 11:59, they will not be considered. We will not be extending it. That is it. I'm telling you all as well. So if you all, any of you all here still want to submit your application to run again, this is my final call to you. We're not doing any more emails or anything like that. Last one and one out today.
Yeah.
Please get that set. 3-year plan information will go out to you all tonight. Please just review it so you just are aware of it, as it does impact those coming in next year, and you all have the ability to make impacts on that here in the future.
Sorry, what are you saying that, just pay attention during the presentation or?
Do the presentation, but like I plan to share the 3-year plan out with everybody.
Oh, that document. Yes, that's right. I forget because me and Yulong have been reading it all the time, but not everyone
Yeah,
else
no
does.
problem.
I
I'll share
didn't
it with
even
you all tonight.
send that out.
And then pay attention to the slides when we have them up here.
Yeah.
We've been signed up for the ELT Involvement Fair. That is March 27th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. here in Truax. It's the last tabling event ELT is going to hold. We're going to be there. Just be ready. And then finally to go with Angels Point, and this is a call out to anybody. Chelsea Bauer, campus manager for Watertown, actually reached out to Senate directly, including myself, saying that they are requesting student Senate attendance to be at Watertown on Monday, March 24th from 11:30 to 2:30. Because students have concerns that they actually want to bring to Senate, therefore they want us there. So if you, Monday, the 24th, from 11:30 to 2:30, I will be at Watertown. If you can be at Watertown, come on out, the more the merrier. I put a request out to ask if we're gonna have a specific space we need to be in to take these, or if this is gonna be tabling style.
Yes.
Chelsea has not gotten back to me. I'm sure I'll have an answer tomorrow. This is a call to any of you. We need representation there. I'm happy to be there, but it does mean more if y'all are there. And if we have the ability to have a virtual option,
yes,
y'all can join virtually as well. That is what we're hoping for now. March 24th, 11:30 to 2:30. If you can be there, you need to tell me so I can account for us. Lando.
Oh, I was just gonna ask what time.
Perfect, thank you.
I was gonna do the same, yeah.
He'll send out an email once it gets.
I'll get y'all an email
finalized.
once I have the full info.
Thank you.
So we don't know yet whether or not a virtual option will be.
No,
Yes,
because we
not
don't have
yet.
the space yet.
Okay, understood.
That's the kicker to it. Appreciate it.
Just to piggyback off that, I would only be able to do a virtual for that day. It would have to be like half hour.
Yeah,
But I'll submit
It depends on when they're available.
Yeah,
so
it
we don't
depends.
know.
So right now, the issue deals with specific with a class, which I think is in reference to what Angel has some privy information to. And we're picking the day that the most people are on campus. That is that is the high priority time.
Gotcha.
So
I think I could make it, but I don't have a card. So like.
We can-
maybe-
we can-
I'd like
we can figure that out.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
coordinate as we continue.
No,
to work on
it's
this.
definitely part of our regional campus efforts and we have money allocating in transportation.
yeah, we'll figure that out too. No need to worry about that.
What are you looking, why are you looking at me?
All
No,
right,
no,
other
I'm saying,
questions?
thank you.
Okay, when I send out the email, that is your notification to let me know if you're going to commit. And I'll have a deadline of when to let me know by. That's simply just to let me know if we need to coordinate rides, that we have that settled ahead of time, because again, we need to be there. And I'll be meeting folks there because I live near Watertown. Okay, seeing none, you.
Okay, perfect. Move on to reports from special select committees, public advisory committee, public safety advisory committee.
Yeah, so today was a pretty long meeting, actually. We went through quite a bit of stuff. We talked about feedback we got from the town hall. People really like the shuttle program. And then a lot of the demographics, even just a small sample that I got, reflected what we saw later when we were reviewing the PTK transportation study in 2023. I also went ahead and put together a brief synopsis of the February 7th SAB presentation by the what's Jackie's official title? The transportation director.
Coordinator, services,
Analyst,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And we talked about, what it looks like for public transport in specific. We looked at an email from Mark Thomas talking a little bit more about the premium parking initiative, now renamed to the efficiency parking initiative, which we voted on today. So a few key takeaways from that. The bus system scales based on the amount of ridership. So we give out bus passes and students use those bus passes, and the city invoices Madison College. For the shuttle, it's a fixed rate of, I believe, $128,000. But only 10% of people that take the shuttle right now could have their commutes replaced by a Metro bus pass. So the shuttle is really instrumental, and it fills a very important niche. A lot of people I talked to at Goodman South campus actually said they parked in the parking lot at Goodman South and then commuted into Truex using the shuttle, which is interesting because Goodman South's parking lot is not very large, meaning that a lot of people coming in to Goodman South aren't actually staying there. And the reason for this is, from what I understood, that people don't like the idea of parking about 0.8 miles away from the Truex building and the walking in.
Exactly.
Which is why the efficiency parking initiative might make headway in that regard.
Yes.
Mark Thomas did say that when it came to offering passes, especially if there's a price attached to it, there could be a question of eligibility. I mean, who do we give these passes to? Is it on a need basis? Like if there's some kind of scheduling conflict that requires you to have that shorter walking commute into the building. Athletics brought up that they wanted to have access. I mean,
yes.
When it comes down to it, everyone is going to have a reason why they should get the passes over someone else. And that's going to, be a whole rabbit hole. In fact, a rabbit hole was the term that Mark Thomas used in his email. And while it's a great thought experiment, it really brings up the question of what problem are we trying to solve? And when we came to a conclusion, it was that we are attempting to solve the problem of the long walk, or at least make it less of a problem, because we're seeing these underutilized parking zones, some that are gated, right? The faculty lot, the health building lot, and we want to know how can we fill those lots up and get the cars that are all the way out here closer to the building?
Yes.
And how can we do it in a way that's equitable and that allows access to those lots for the people who currently have access and who need that access? So a lot was talked about. We did ask one question, and that was, which would you prefer in terms of allocating a premium parking pass? And I believe we had a first come, first serve,
like a
based
raffle.
on a raffle, and then there were two other options.
The third one was.
Let me just actually pull up the meeting work notes, because I want to make sure I quote this right.
Base raffle, like employee of the month, or
Yes.
some sort of program where cycle through random students that were selected from different clubs, organizations, whether that's for academic excellence or just general involvement.
There's a leadership or academic priority, which is what I wrote down, and then a need-based allocation. Like, for example, I have a class here, and then I have to drive, and I have a class there, and I'm struggling to make that schedule work. So can I get access to this pass kind of thing? But that would be a can of worms for sure.
There's still passes you would pay for.
That's also up for debate.
The question.
Yes, because
to figure out.
is that really part of the solution to the problem? Do we have to charge people to solve the problem? If we're moving away from let's reduce the transportation fee to let's make parking more efficient so that the walk is less a utilitarian concept, which is a lot more palatable, I think, for the body to accept, then we're going to charge a little extra for people that are closer, because that brings in questions of affordability, especially people who don't have the money to put forward for something like that. They're immediately priced out. And then they're like, well, this program doesn't benefit me to begin with. This is only for a select population here.
And I would like to comment on that point. So another big part of the discussion today was on sort of walking that fine line between excluding certain groups and then including everyone, and the drawbacks, but also the benefits to each. And so sort of what I came to for the conclusion was like, I guess divvying it up by like trying to equalize it across like organizations and clubs was sort of why I came up with that third point of doing like an employee of the month, a student of the month, that sort of program where it would sort of incentivize students to be more involved and do well, and then they can get rewarded in, a tangible way, like the parking spot. But again, I think the drawback to that would be the students who maybe don't have the time to get involved, that are busy working, would feel left out. And so, yeah, we're constantly trying to narrow down sort of which approach is the best to take. And so, yeah, I think we're making good progress. So for sure.
Maybe Sleep had a question.
Yeah.
Why just don't add that money into the tuitions? Because the people who get the bus pass, you get the bus pass and they add that money to your tuitions. So due to restrictions, if some people want some special spot, just tell them, hey, we can have it, but we need to add probably like $50 on your tuition. If you okay for it, that would be a separate link for them so they can sign up for that. So we know, okay, these students want the specific spot on the parking lot. So they add that money to the tuition, so he don't have to pay nothing for out of the pocket, since that all be add to just the tuition. So that it's not like money that I take out of my pocket to pay for it, just of my tuition. So I pay my tuition, that money actually.
Now, since we're talking about it, I was waiting to maybe not say anything, but since you brought it up, so I just want to say that when people pay for it, you will have reduced parking, because those people that are paying for it, that'll go in there, they'll go in there and they'll reduce parking elsewhere, because more people going into that lot means there's more space open. Now, there is an argument that basically you don't have to do that at all, and then basically, well, then that'll also reduce parking. But now you have the argument of, well, I deserve this spot, don't I? So now everyone comes in and says, well, why am I getting this spot? So does become harder to say, well, who really does deserve this spot? So just think about that. Like, think about those things. Money is an easy way because it just says, well, if you pay for it, you get it. But now when you don't have that, then there's some sort of qualifier for why you really need that spot. So yeah, and then there's the costs that come associated with managing that, which makes that an issue too. So someone's gonna have to pay for it in the end if we do have that. And so just think about that.
Another argument for adding a cost to it, whether that be through tuition or paying out of pocket, if you're interested, would be that public safety is going to have more to do, more responsibility once the program's implemented. And it's only fair that we compensate them for that additional work they're doing. And that could be our driving, I guess, motivator behind, why we're charging a little bit, is because of the additional workload that comes with that.
Perfect. We're gonna have one more comment. Will be you, and then we're done, right? Yep.
I don't want to have this conversation without acknowledging the I thought the intention behind charging for premium passes was also that it would lower parking costs for everyone else. For people who like, I only drive if it's rainy, so I'm not going to buy a pass. I don't use the parking lot all the time. And then I guess open to debate here is lowering the cost of if everyone pays a few bucks less, is that worth having this kind of maybe what feels like inequity based on who's willing to, who wants to pay some extra money?
And I think that's a discussion that we would need to continue with further, for sure. And I think including the student body and helping them, or having them come to that decision themselves, is sort of the ultimate goal. What's doing best for everybody, utilitarianism, because I don't think, regardless of how we do this, unfortunately, not everyone's gonna get what they want out of it. And so you just have to find the way to get the most people, the most benefit at the end of the day.
If a bunch of people don't like how it is, then I think we might be paying a cost that's not just money though. If a bunch of people don't think that's a bad idea, to have it paid, then I don't think we should do that. But like,
That's a solid, that's not hard to quantify.
Well, just remember this,
Yeah.
parking is bad now, people are complaining about it, so even if
It
it's
is an
marginally
issue.
better, it's better, and it doesn't need to be perfect, just need to be slightly better, and then we can leave it for the next people to come take over.
Mhm.
So that's all I'll say about that, so who knows what the next best idea is, but I'm sure that you and the committee and the rest of you all will continue to work on that, so.
Decision.
Do need to move on, and with this point, we are gonna be late, because we do have to do our 3-year plan today, and we need to have your all input, so. That's what happens when we all talk, and that's fine. Sorry for doing that. And Bertina Haydo is very, what's it called? Convincing. So we had a lot of things to say to her. But we do need to move on to, anything quick on elections updates? No, we already pretty much did that. Town hall, we kind of already did that one. Okay, yeah. We can share the big results afterwards, and then we're gonna go to the 3-year plan presentation. You have that ready?
It is, and I just put the 3-year plan link to the
Yes.
Word document in the chat.
Oh,
So
perfect.
you all can review
Okay,
that.
so you
but-
can review that now physically here, or not physically, but. yeah,
So,
there.
so what you sent me was just the PDF, is that okay?
Sorry?
You just sent me, in the email, you sent the PDF of the slide. Do you want the actual slides or just?
I think I sent you the link to it too, no?
Well, regardless, I can pull up the what's called.
Because we
Oh,
don't have
okay.
access.
It says we do not have access.
Yes.
Let me do it. So Cole, pull that up and then I'll take care of that part of it. I'd rather, yeah, and then Lando, if you want to get up there and get ready to be their physical presenter.
Okay.
So Lando, and so from context, Lando and Yilong are gonna be presenting this tomorrow at the SAB. We're seeking approval on our budget. It won't get up for official discussion until after spring break, that first Friday, where we'll be approving your budget, but we do want to present it now so that every organization has a chance to do that. We're asking for a pretty big increase and we're trying to justify it with all the things we've done this year. Here's that, and yeah, go for it. And then Yilong's online. He couldn't be here in person for good reason, but he will tomorrow.
Yes. So, hello, everyone. As you know, it is now 3-year plan season, so we're getting into the very juicy part of the whole Senate process, just making sure that we are sticking to our goals, for an assortment of things that we'll be going over today. And so, yeah, I think, Yolong, did you have anything to add? Before we move to the next slide?
Might be having issues online.
Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, and so here's our mission statement. So the mission of statement of the Student Senate College is to represent all students enrolled for credit at post high school divisions of the Madison College-based campuses and our 4 regional campuses. And so here on the sort of middle left is a picture we got with Governor Tony Evers during the recent WSG legislative seminar, where we were lobbying for a lot of the issues that we'll be talking about in the 3-year plan, sort of aligning our goals with the goals that he has, especially for education. And then in the bottom left, we have of course, former Madison College president, Dr. Jack Daniels III. And so it's great having him here and hearing his insights. And we hope to continue to push his messages that he gave us when he was leaving forward in, our future here. All right. Yolong, do you want to read this one off? Just want to see. Not sure.
You muted yourself. There you go.
Okay.
In short, student senate members have an opportunity to sit on shared governance councils and college assembly, inviting members of the president cabinet to attend general assembly meetings. Student senate sits on these additional committees: textbook affordability, public safety, student media board. Regional senators serve on regional engagement committees, membership in Wisconsin student government, and Senate President attends Madison College District Board meetings.
All right, so current Senate membership falls into these categories. So we have our 5 offices, And we have the president, our vice president of administration and finance, our vice president of legislative affairs, VP of public relations, and VP of team development. And so we, in addition to that, we have 5 regional senators at the Fort Atkinson, Goodman South, Portage, Reedsburg, and Watertown campuses, as well as 10 general senate seats open to any Madison College student. I'll talk over this one if that's all right, Yolong. So some accomplishments and events. Student Senate successfully attended the WSG Legislative Seminar and raised awareness of childcare, mental health resources, Wisconsin grants, and open educational resources. And we also advocated for reasonable tuition increases to technical college students. As mentioned earlier in the meeting, we were hoping to only have a 1.75% increase for the occupational as well as the transfer increases. And it sounds like we were halfway there. So that's great work that we did. So we spoke to local legislators at the Capitol building here, including Governor Tony Evers, among many others as well. All right, Yolong, you want to take this one?
So over the past year, we met several challenges for in the Student Senate. Hybrid meetings participation create issues. Many positions vacant after fall semester. It's a bit turnover. Regional campuses also Senate the seats of the regional seats of the senators from the regional campuses are vacant. Then it's continued documentation of completed items and hours. After this semester, we will face a large turnover of student senate members going into next year because many of us are leaving. Then seeking improved study spaces for students to utilize. This is also another challenge we are facing now. And finally, continued involvement of non-Senate members.
All right. So some accomplishments and resolutions we passed. We have resolution number 1, LGBTQ Pride Month, which formally recognized June as Pride Month to celebrate and to support the safety, diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging of the LGBTQIA+ community. And so resolution 2 was Juneteenth, formally to recognize June 19th as and worked in partnership with the Black Student Union, BSU, and the African Student Association Club, SAC, to support Black and African students on all Madison College campuses. So we also had resolution number 3, protective and emergency services. Celebrate and show support to all students of protective and emergency services at Madison College. That took place from September 9th through September 13th. We hosted a Flag Day event in honor of 9/11. So resolution 4, Hispanic Heritage Month, recognize September 15th as beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month, October 15th, and continue to support other student clubs and organizations, including La Raza, as well as the Hispanic community and all Madison College campuses. And so we also have resolution 5, the SAC budget funding to request adequate funding for the 24-25 budget year to support the operation and activities within the Student Achievement Center. This was later brought forward to the SAB, where we are voting. And so resolution 6, Native American Heritage Month, recognized November 1st as Native American Heritage Month.
for the entire month of November, as well as the second Monday of October to be Indigenous Peoples' Day. And we worked in partnership with Native American students and the Native American Student Association, NASA, to support Native communities and all Madison College campuses. All right, you want to do this one, Yvonne?
Yeah, we can just finish the resolution section.
Okay. Okay. Some of our recent ones that we've had, Resolution 7, International Education Week, Resolution number 8, the Premium Parking Initiative, renamed to the Efficiency Parking Initiative.
We can rename it in the PowerPoint.
Yeah, we can make that adjustment.
SAB, yeah, we need to support those people specifically. Yeah.
Yep. And we have resolution number 9, safety on Anderson Street. Resolution 10, Black History Month. And resolution 11, implementing halal food dining options, our most recent addition. And so some past accomplishments that we've had. They covered student food pantry in 2019. The Senate helped establish that. The full textbook rental program in 2018 has been huge for a lot of students being able to attend college because of how much more affordable the textbooks are now. The campus shuttle services was also established in 2018. And so that's been a popular transportation option. Textbook adaptation policy in 2017. We also have the carpool bases and incentives in that parking lot by the health building. We have prayer meditation, low century space, a reflection room. It's room. It was established in 2014. The Metro bus passes and paratransit program was established all the way back in 1999, and so was the fitness center access. All right, Yolong.
So our remaining plan for 2024 to 2025, first thing is now our application is closed or it's about to close. Our voting part is we want to make ballots available to students of Wolfpack Connect to vote on our new coming student senate, vice presidents, senators, vice presidents, and president. Secondly, we plan to collaborate with Clarion to post the results. Third, students and Senate advisor will participate in the WSG meeting in April, hosted at Mid-State Technical College in Stevens Point. Then Senate will present their 3-year plan to the college assembly. Next, we will have the swearing ceremony on May 8th. And finally, annual student Senate 3-year plan budget presentation to the district board.
Okay,
Now
so yeah, you can do this one too, Yolong.
And now the opportunities for team development. First, we have internal team development events. Students Town Hall provided a great opportunity for Student Senate to connect with students and hear their concerns. We also are having an increase in student interest in joining the Student Senate. We are having and is still counting up to 36 applications for 2025 to 2026 Student Senate. We continue to host collaborative events with other areas to strengthen bonds within student life.
And so here are the 3-year plan organization goals we have moving forward. So we have campus sustainability operations, furthering Goodman South and regional campus partnerships, and supporting students' basic needs.
And so goal number one, our sustainability outreach. We're hoping to establish sustainability coordinator position on the Senate to lead campus efforts with sustainability programming, education, and action. We encourage transportation solutions, like biking education partnerships with the Madison Metro bus services, addressing nutrition and food insecurity concerns, by working in collaboration with the Madison College Food Pantry and Dining Services to offer healthy and inclusive cafeteria food to all Madison College students. Collaborate with partner organizations to host Earth Day events and other environmental sustainability programs. And that would engage our college community to invest in the planet that we live on currently. And exploring the possibility of creating a hybrid student life and facility management staffing position that would serve as the student advisor for sustainability programming and campus facility initiatives. Efficiencies. Dylan, you want to do this next one?
Finish this one. I will do the rest of the 2 goals.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so our second goal is campus-wide policy review and analysis. And so we're hoping to invite guest speakers from relevant college departments to speak at the Student Senate General Assembly meetings, working in collaboration with our Senate committees. We want to review energy profile usage, statistics, and billing data at Madison College campuses, beginning with the George Main campus and moving on to the regionals. We want to review recycling guidelines and procedures in line with the current sustainability policies and facilities master plan. We're also hoping to review current commuter service options, shuttle usage data, and previous transportation survey results, to make a recommendation based on research on the future campus-to-campus shuttles for future academic years. We're reviewing divestment strategies at other colleges and universities to apply to Madison College financial investment portfolio, as well as advocating for recommendations to be adopted to the Madison College strategic plan, presenting at student clubs, student boards, and shared governance council meetings, and as well as district board meetings as well. Yes.
Are we allowed to make questions and comments?
Sure.
It
It's up to you. This is for feedback. Do you want it?
It should be.
Do you want it now or later? That you're the presenter.
If you have it right now, that'd be great.
Okay,
Said-
yeah. So, that section about the reviewing current commuter service options, that's very much centered around the shuttles, which is
Yes.
great to mention, I think. Also, if you remember on February 7th, Jackie really talked more in depth about the fact that the shuttle is really invaluable and it can't be replaced with any other service. I wonder if, especially in light of Cassie's comments, it would make sense to talk about B-cycle, especially in front of SAB. I think they would really like that, given that it was a topic.
We have plans to talk about B-cycle separately. That's really not quite a Senate topic. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's more of like an SAB managed thing now, but there will be a discussion on it for sure. It just won't, I don't think it needs to happen during our presentation.
But then the shuttle usage, that's happening under sustainability then.
It can happen anywhere. Cole?
Just to be quick with that, so Jackie is. Jackie is.
Yes.
Like Jackie is fully
Yes.
done, so Ally, who's the new administrative coordinator, will be taking over for that. So it might not, and this is, Ally will take over the bulk of what is SAP in terms of the. So maybe beneficial to have this, is that it's gonna be a talking point where she's gonna work in collaboration with these moving forward.
Okay, would it make sense to mention the other commuter service options just in passing on that bullet point?
Maybe it would. What are you suggesting? I think I'm maybe misunderstanding it. So say more.
Maybe just listing alongside the shuttle, the buses and the B-cycle. Those are the other two main ones, outside.
You
of
want me
the
to
ride
write
share.
Madison Metro on there? I swear I did somewhere.
I mean, it's really a small detail, but it would
Sure,
give
no,
people a
that's a good
better
point.
understanding of the scope of what that
Yeah,
review current.
like reviewing
means.
current commuter services, including the metro, the B-cycle program.
Okay,
Yeah,
where would you like to see that?
that third bullet point, it looks like it fit best.
For me, that just looks like more comprehensive detail, and then
Yeah.
they'll understand just the amount of work that goes into that.
Okay.
I just
It
wanted to
is
mention
done.
that there, if it's still done how it was done before, there's a committee that meets, prior to the, figuring out the new contract. That's under Jackie's, that was under Jackie, that would now be under the new person. And Student Senate does get to have people on there as well as, people, some other people from around the college, because I was on it for this one.
Yeah, so just some context since you brought it up, so everyone's ahead of time. So tomorrow we will be having discussions on the transportation services fee as well as the future of like the shuttle program and B-cycle. So there will be discussions on that. The current recommendation after talking to Ellie and Jason and for those two of them is that potentially we could explore just having a 1-year contract where we take that 1 year, just renew it for 1 year and then explore about the feasibility and the utilization of B-cycle and whether or not we need it. So that's probably what's gonna come up tomorrow. So we'll
What
inform you of
about
it.
the transportation one? Because it seemed like we got a better deal by doing, the larger, yeah,
We negotiated a
for
lower
the, for the
contract.
shuttle. That's the
Shuttle
one.
or
You and I
B-cycle.
were both on the shuttle one.
Oh, yeah, I think that will come up tomorrow. I think I don't know whether or not the deal was better, but we do know that in order to pay for things, they do want to increase the fee. So I don't know specifically about that line item. But the other option that I pitched to them is that we should just purchase our own shuttle and then hire our own drivers. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's like way, like big brain, way ahead of them. So
No, I like that idea.
I mean, I think they're not ready for that. So it's been suggested. So
Just make sure they don't try and get rid of it, because remember they were talking about.
I don't think anyone said Jackie has so changed her mind on that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
when she originally presented, she made it.
And if you still don't believe her, well, she's not gonna be the coordinator anymore, so it doesn't matter. So, but I do believe she very much now sees the value in it. I don't think anyone's trying to get rid of the shuttle.
Yes.
They're still.
Next slide.
Yeah.
I think, sorry.
Yeah,
You can go
Looking
ahead.
at, the rid of the shuttle thing came from like the new BRT system for
Yeah.
the metro, but I
It
think
was a proposal.
still like the BRT takes so much longer than
Mhm.
the shuttle, so.
Yeah, some context. Last year, Jackie suggested getting rid of the shuttle program. People said no, and she's like, well, rapid bus transit. We came around to it. She looked at the data and she's a very analytical person and she said, wait, no, we do need this. So yeah, I think that's where that came from, but she's just looking out for what's best. So it was just a suggestion and clearly the data showed otherwise. So she supports where the data goes. So she was just trying to innovate. That's all. So don't hate on Jackie. I do like her. So no.
Nolan, you said you had to
Not quite.
Car
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah.
Car sharing was not included in it? Can we include that or it's not?
That's not something that we.
Right.
We handle. I think if anything, we just push individuals to seek it out. 'Cause I think it's just a general thing that's offered within Dane County.
That's it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Of course, they still have the
All right, you all.
So goal number 2, Goodman South and regional campus outreach and advocacy. Strategy 1, strengthen in-person and on-campus awareness of the Student Senate at Goodman South and the regional campuses. We want to recruit and support regional senators to enhance representation and consistently engage with students on regional campuses during the 2025 and 2026 Senate election period. We want to increase Student Senate presence at campus events and partner with student organizations to co-host activities. We also want to expand social media efforts by sharing student testimonies, event highlights, and direct engagement opportunities. Finally, we want to develop and distribute printed and digital materials, especially for our regional campuses that clearly explains the role of the student senate and how students can get involved. Strategy number 2, identify and address areas of improvement for the student experience at Goodman South and regional campuses. We want to continue discussions with administration to understand how class offerings are determined and advocate for adjustment based on student feedback. Next, we want to host listening sessions and town hall events at each campus throughout the year, ensuring a consistent and structured approach to gathering student input. Then we want to develop a student senate regional campus coordinator that will chair our regional campus outreach committee to work with all regional senators and campus managers to collaborate monthly, either via meeting or activities. Finally, we want to conduct a thorough review of services and resources at each campuses, making this information easily accessible to students via updated online and printed guide. Goal number 3, supporting student basic needs. Strategy number 1, we would like to develop initiatives to build relations with Madison College alumni for the benefit of current students and extending the community to create a legacy of student graduates. Strategy number 2, we would like to support ongoing initiatives surrounding student parents and affordable childcare for Madison College students. Strategy number 3, we want to strengthen and support mental health resources for Madison College students.
Can I interject here real quick?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Coming to you all, we're sharing the most up-to-date 3-year plan with y'all. If you have questions about what's covered here, it's just a lot here. All of it is detailed out in the 3-year plan. And then Elong, when you present tomorrow, you can just, I'm gonna have copies of the 3-year plan present for everyone to review. You can just reference some of the points in there for like, what are 2 things we're gonna do with each of those trainings. So it is detailed out, just it's not here because it's a lot.
Yeah.
And,
So we're sort of gonna follow athletics model of having the printout there for people referencing.
I'll print it out tomorrow. So you'll be able to review this when you do review your 3-year plan. So I just want to put that out there. Now we're to the budget.
Okay. So our funding plan for student senate here. We are hoping to, this is our current request right now, so we're hoping to get $56,300 for student help, which is do I need to mention how much it's?
You could just say it's a, we're looking for an increase of a little over $13,000.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay. We're looking for an increase of a little over $13,000 for student help, $500 increase for travel, $200 for food, $200 decrease for memberships, $100 increase for supplies, a $200 increase for copying and printing, and then a keeping the advertising the same.
So this is a point where I would definitely say you can reference here. So our total request we're making is $73,530. However, the bulk of that is coming for student help, in which we're trying to remain competitive. If you remove student help, we're only asking for a 1% increase in our overall budget. So make sure we highlight that reference, because that's going to create a clairvoyant understanding.
Yeah. And Cole will be there, so he can make that point again if you really want.
Correct. You can ask me and I can.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So that,
Then here's our funding breakdown. And so we recently voted.
Student help included in stipends?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's for. And this is the breakdown specifically for that.
Yeah, this is exactly the breakdown for the student help. And so we voted on this for general increases to the stipends of senators, as well as the increase in hourly positions, everyone for each board. And so our new executive hourly position for VP Administration and Finance would now be worth $5,250. That's assuming they work 10 hours a semester and 5 hours a week during the summer. We also are hoping to get manager stipend raises for the other vice president roles. And so previously they were making $1,000 a semester. Now they'd be making $2,600 a year. And so that would be 15.
So the 2,600 is the total increase. They would be making 1,500 per semester.
Okay.
Yes.
Oops, sorry, I spoke. So, yeah, it'd cost an additional $2,600 to implement this. And so the managers would now be making 1,500 a semester, 700 a summer. And so our coordinator stipend raises for our regional and general senators, it was previously $750 a semester. And now we're requesting additional $3,600 to bump that $750 up to $900 a semester with $400 during the summer. So some additional responsibilities that we're hoping to further fund for additional $1,500 include the sustainability coordinator position. We're hoping to get, as well as our regional campus coordinator and our public safety coordinator. And so that would raise their what they're making by $250 a semester with no expectation that they would get a pay increase during the summer.
Questions?
Senator Rush here.
So I'm noticing, well, initially what I noticed with the previously 1,000, previously 750, and then looking at the column on the right, it took me a second to think, okay, that's definitely per semester. I think most people would be able to interpret that, but my initial reaction was seeing the difference of numbers and going, whoa, that doesn't seem right. And I'm worried that
What portion?
Like
Like I'm looking at previously 1,000,
Oh,
and then when I'm looking over to the right and I'm seeing 2,600, I'm going, whoa, that's more than double, without actually realizing that. that's
Sure,
not
I
double.
will write that in. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
So maybe previously, you could even take that out or do it as the total amount.
I think as the total amount would be more confusing personally, so I do like having what it's at currently as a presenter.
So maybe then the per semester.
Yeah, I wrote in per semester.
Whole year.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
question you could be asked is, because we mentioned summer, we're not increasing anybody's pay over the summer.
Oh, yeah.
That's staying
Yeah,
flat.
those
So
look
just to
the
be
same.
clear, if someone's like, are we increasing pay for any position over the summer? The answer is no. It's all staying flat. And
Yeah.
we'll have to look, I just want to confirm, Kai and I should look at it. Last I saw sustainability coordinator did not have any payment over the summer.
No, none of them do except for communications.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're not really doing the bulk of the work for it yet. You're not having committee meetings yet, so.
Oh, I see. So you're doing the ones that are receiving the increases and we're not increasing those two, so that's why they're not up here.
Yeah, so that's
makes
why
sense.
they're
Perfect.
on it, yep.
Nope, that makes sense. All right, that's
Where's the inclusion and belonging?
what we were just.
So
talking
that
about.
previously already is funded, so these are just
Oh,
the
okay.
new additions. Inclusion, belonging, and
Thank you.
communications coordinator are already like part of our funding package, so we don't need to worry about that. But these
But
are
if
the
you
new
put
ones.
those on there and show that we're not increasing those, that might look positive.
So this is just for what is increasing. This
Yeah.
specific slide is what is increasing
Reference
within
our
student
three-year
life.
plan, those two positions
Okay.
Yeah.
are referenced in there to be a part of the funding.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No good question.
And it's in the budget Excel document, but we just want to present the changes here.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then, with that in mind, should we not have the summer stuff listed at all?
that's true. We could.
I
It's
would
up to
say,
you.
I would say to
Just for
Cut it
keep it,
reference,
because
keep
if
it.
we're gonna reference what the total pay is gonna be, I think it's good to show the transparency of where all of because they're gonna be paid over the summer.
Yeah.
I would say if you remove it, then we just have to be clear when people can see our budget, when they look at the 3-year plan, just to state this page, maybe do like funding increase breakdown. We just say, this is where all the increases are happening, because you're right, it's not gonna reference certain things that they're gonna see, like Annette said, because it's probably a fair question, they're gonna see
Yeah.
raise to vice presidents. Where's the inclusion belonging coordinator? It said you wanted positions, which we can say, it's not receiving an increase, it's still part of our funding package.
How about this funding breakdown? budget increase? Should I like rename it to like budget increase?
I think as long as you have the word increase in there somewhere, because you do reference it
Okay.
later on, an item increase, I think you're good.
The other question I had is, do we want to have some type of, like down at the bottom and up at the top, we are talking about like what their hourly wage is because they're receiving an hourly wage.
So
I feel like we might want to give them approximate about how much a student senator is actually making because it's far less than that. And that might be more impactful.
no, that's what Alex Kaiser did, if you remember during his presentation, when he made the switch from stipends to hourly.
Yeah.
I think where it currently at is $7 and like just barely, I think it's like $7.29 if
And
you
then
break it
the
down.
same thing
So we
for
are
VPs.
paying you minimum wage.
Yeah, but I think it's important for them to know that all the work that's been done by Senate.
I
Look
think
at the pay.
if you want to do that,
You're a
it
minimum
should
wage
be,
person.
you can mention it during
$7.
the second of this, because the one thing that we've been hooked up on is if we show stipend and then hourly, the biggest pass we've had this year is the debate between you can't be having a stipend and an hourly.
Yeah.
So I think if we want to mention that, we should have a separate point mentioning that, not within this, because we're
Or,
referencing.
yeah, maybe just on one of the other
Yeah,
documents.
I agree with you. I just think
Maybe
keep it separate.
it can be like a one-off thing where you mention like, oh, and just for some context, we broke it down and, you know, like if we look at it, it actually comes out to just barely over minimum wage.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'd say if you can.
$7.29 an hour,
Mention it.
I will remember that.
Is that if you limit your hourly commitment to 4 hours a week?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forget if we considered 4 or 6 for that calculation. I'm not really sure what we did.
Oh, so
I would, yeah.
I would hope it's 6. If we did do 4, then that's also very bad.
Yeah, because it all depends on what committees you're on.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That's true. It really does.
Good to go for you? What's up?
I would lend my voice to it.
How late is this meeting gonna run?
So we're done. Do you need to go?
You can go when you want.
Go
You're
ahead.
not
Yeah,
part of it.
We're over time. You're good to go.
Yeah, and anytime we're overtime, anyone can technically leave when they want, but that was a really important thing.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. You can leave. I would ask that we maintain a quorum.
We went over a lot there. Did we have any other questions?
We're not that point. You can just leave if you want, though. I'm not-
There are a lot of questions.
I like the use of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
I made sure we used it.
Just a Photoshop me next to you on the.
So I will say that Cole, so just for context,
The little
Cole
head
did do
bob
a
and
lot
bob.
of the
Exactly,
pictures.
like that.
Oh, wait, we can be balloon bubbles.
Yeah.
So Cole did a lot of the pictures and the design of it. So I gave the base line from last year, but Cole did a lot of the modernization of it. So,
Good job.
and then I did the finance.
So I guess with it wolfing up, so Elon and Lando are basically gonna do the same thing they just did today. Is there anything you saw that isn't referenced that you think is beneficial for us to include in regards to us selling the 3-year plan? Because here's the thing. The biggest part of why we're doing the 3-year plan, especially outside of giving our goals, is to sell them on why we're looking for the budget increase. So I want to keep that as a focal point here. It's got to be the focus of the budget increase. Is there anything missing that we want to include in that?
And I just want to say that anyone that made comments here today, I've already included them in the new PowerPoint. So Declan, your comments are in there, your comments in there, and that I think someone else made a random comment that I did include about B-cycle or stuff like that. So
Change the title of
yes,
the
I,
breakdown.
yes, it's called student.
Yeah, I was just 101. What if this get rejected? So we have to modify.
It could get rejected. That's a
Yeah,
possibility.
we would have to modify, but they would have to give us specifics as to what it is that they want to change, so it allows us to go back to the drawing board. And again, the other part of this, and I think Kai would agree, and Kai can back me up on this. For some of these, we're asking probably more, knowing that it could be a little less.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are asking actually, so we are asking a little more than what student
we're-
life expects us to do, but we are asking less than what was budgeted for when we did our SAB compensation review. So I think in the SAB compensation review, we could go up to technically, was it 900 or are we maxing out?
For
For the 30% increase is that 900?
So for the senators, yes.
Oh, so we maxed out on every
For the
possible that we
senators.
could for all of our increases. We did hit the max limit that was capable from our budget. So we can't increase anymore. We're hoping to just get what's possible from our student fee increase. So we cannot go higher than this. We went for the max here with the possibility we could get shut down. And that's okay, because a win is a win. If we go a little bit higher, then I'd count that as a win, even if we don't get our max ask. Always ask for a little bit more.
Yep.
Remember that in salary negotiations.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Except
gonna
we can't
say.
give you more. Don't negotiate with us.
Yeah,
We
don't
cannot give you
negotiate
more.
higher than you can afford.
Yeah, we can't afford that. So,
Any
yeah.
other questions, comments? I would encourage you all.
One comment. So there's a section where you talk about textbook affordability.
Yeah.
One good point to make, you know, which ever since the inception of the program, we've had over $1.4 million in student savings,
Yeah.
student textbook savings.
Mention.
A good
That's
little
like a
point
little
there.
fun fact.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
You could mention that the average technical college student pays between $600 and $1,200 for textbooks and supplies.
Yes.
That's good paper. Good job. Respect.
My last thing for you all, before I turn it over to anything else, is if you can, virtually or in person, please join tomorrow. If you want the link, come and support all the folks that are gonna be speaking for Senate.
When is it?
It is from 1:30 to 1:30
On Friday.
Do we present first?
No, I think we're last.
I do,
Oh.
I don't remember, but I
That's
swear the
ELT is
SAB
first.
schedule, oh, so they're first?
ELT
Okay.
is first, and then it's between us and student life council.
Yeah, I think they don't want to be last, so I think we are last then, huh?
Until.
Oh, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably might even go later.
If you want to, but,
So for people who are interested in joining like the Senate talk, because we're last, we probably won't go at 1:30. We probably won't even go at 2:30. So I'd check in around, I mean, maybe 2:30. I'd check in around 2:30 to see where we're at. Cause we're not gonna present the first half. Like I'd be very surprised if we did. So I would bet money that we won't, but someone can prove me wrong, I guess. So they can speed through there. Sure, $20. That can be my personal bet to you, Lando. So
How did you update
I'll
yourself
hold you
as
accountable to
the
that.
WSG president?
where? Oh.
I saw that Katrina was still president and you were still AFO.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oopsies.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was a subtle way to update you.
plan.
Yes.
So the one three-year plan that was shared previously, it's not complicated.
Oh, okay.
So we will
Sounds
share
good.
those with you.
Well, and I think that's important because that's additional volunteer time. By the way, I'm sending volunteer time in for WSG. I thought about that.
yeah.
Okay, that's up to Scarlett to approve. I don't
Yeah.
know, we can ask her. Is that okay?
Well, because I looked, I had
Especially
I
if you
had
offer
our
the leadership
parliament
certificate.
or Taz look at it. He's like, there's nothing in there that says that we can't. I forgot to tell you that. So it was like,
So nice for being at WSG.
well, I don't know
I
about
don't
you
know
guys,
about
but I'm
you.
talking about us as officers because of the.
Extra work.
Sorry.
Like the background check from the governor? Yeah, I had to get it.
Oh, yeah, you send us evidence.
Just 70,000 total.
73.
Alright, so that means that rentals
This is how many emails it took to get Tony Evers to come.
There's a lot of in-person emails for that.
That should be brought up. I feel like that should be brought
You
up.
sent it.
Wait, you could add in the $1.4 million.
Okay, we're getting there. Okay, is there anything?
20 years of student center.
I wish you had
funding that we
told
saved
me you
on.
were working on that because one of my
Yeah, well,
sister-in-laws is one of his
decades.
budget analysts.
For 1.4
My,
million.
Until
I
2039.
have a sister-in-law
student
who's
staff
one of
pay
his
us
budget
612?
analysts.
That's cool.
No, I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Sorry, wait, so, okay, back to the presentation. So wait, Cole, what were you gonna say?
I want to bring back to,
Okay.
I think we've got everything we need for the presentation.
Okay.
I'll get the link to y'all, so I think we're good to go with whatever is next on the agenda.
Yes, okay, item on the agenda, contested elections. Can we table this to next
Make a
week?
motion to.
Motion
table
from Senator Crowder, second by, let's put Quinn on there.
Actually, yeah.
Senator Mattson, because I don't think I've heard, I don't think you're on that for there. So, there we go. Okay, motion to table. I don't know, voted unanimous for approval. All those in favor say, oh, wait, don't speak, and then we
Don't
can
speak.
pass it. So hearing no options, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, just takes one person, 1, okay. Okay, motion tabled for next week. Non-business housekeeping, non-business housekeeping announcement. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, March 13th, room C242 at 4:30 PM. Adjournment, motion to adjourn, motion made by Senator Lando Dirk, second by Senator, okay, Salif, VP Salifu. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Aye.
Any abstentions? None, okay, motion carries. We are now adjourned at 6:49 PM. That does count for, we can round up to 30 minutes. Is that okay, Cole?
Yes.
30 minutes extra? Okay, you can put 30 minutes extra time on your,
I realized
Hours
it's like
long.
almost
It's just
1
like
month